Fuck y'all niggas talk about, man. Y'all niggas don't know what the fuck I be doing, man. I be working.
Pistol Pete from the Bronx Dobson goes the distance with Conor Benn. He goes all 12 rounds with no eggs involved. Now, before we talk about this fight, first I want to talk about the Joshua Buatsi against the Dan Azeez fight, because this was a really good fight. This was a better fight than I had anticipated. Both of these guys used everything in their arsenal. Dan Azeez made a really good account for himself. Ending the jab, like I said in my previous video, he has a really good stiff jab, long jab, and he was catching Joshua Buatsi with it quite often. He was dipping low. As the shorter fighter, he was dipping low. He was showing good upper body movement. But yes, he was getting clipped. Joshua Buatsi was putting his punches together. Whenever Dan Azeez would get in range, Buatsi would just hit him with that left hook, or he will mix in a right uppercut. Joshua Buatsi is the type of fighter who's always fighting down to his opposition. But in this fight, he proved that he was just a notch above Dan Azeez. You saw that he was faster than Azeez. You saw that he punched harder than Azeez. His footwork was better, and he controlled the distance a lot better too. There were 2 knockdowns in the 11th that Joshua Buatsi scored on a very slippery canvas, but they were scored knockdowns. All in all, I think this was a great fight, and both of these guys showed out. What's next for Joshua Buatsi? Man, I don't see him beating either Bivol or Better Beef at this point. So let's just get that out of the way. He is not beating any of those 2 champions. Domestic level, can he beat Anthony Yarde? No, he cannot. I think he will get stopped by Anthony Yarde. I think as soon as Joshua Buatsi steps up in competition, he will give anybody trouble, but he will not win those fights. He will not be Anthony Yarde, and he will not be Callum Smith. And in Vegas, Conor Benn goes the distance with Pistol Pete Dobson. Now, let's just make this clear. Pistol Pete Dobson is a 154-pound fighter. This fight was scheduled at 151 pounds. Conor Benn is not your prototypical big welterweight. He is on the smaller size. He is on the smaller scale of your welterweight, all right? He is not a big guy, but Conor Benn shows a lot of really good things. He shoots the jab well. He shoots the straight right well. He puts the 1-2 together really well. He shows really good feet. He shows really good upper body movement. He is explosive. Conor Benn can give anybody in the welterweight division problems. Yes, I said it. He will give anybody trouble. Anybody in the States, he can give them trouble. Gotta understand, Conor Benn was matched up with another bigger opponent than he was, who had a really good chin. Peter Dobson has quite the beard on him, and he fired back whenever he did. He shot the straight right and landed on Conor Benn whenever he wanted to, but he just didn't do it enough. Conor Benn was a little too slick in there, moving a little too much in there, and just outworking Pistol Pete Dobson for the most part. Conor Benn can get hit, I'm not gonna lie, but that's what makes him an exciting fighter. He can get hit, he's explosive, he puts his combinations together well. He does a lot of things well in there, and he has the right attitude. He has a very championship attitude. He has a championship mindset. He wants to fight the best. He's calling out all these guys. Yo, I think give him all the big fights. Give Conor Benn all the big fights. Him not fighting in London, in the UK anymore, is a blessing in disguise, because now he could get all the big fights here in America. He's gonna have more eyes on him here in America, whether they're critical, whether praises. He will have all eyes on him, both from fans and from fighters. Let's see Conor Benn in there with better guys. Let's see him in there with Giovanni Santillan. Shit, throw him in there with Blair the Flair Cobbs. You know, feed Blair to Benn. You could throw him in there with an Alexis Rocha. That'd be exciting too.
Fuck y'all